Okay, Shalom Yasharala. Before we go into this lesson, we give all honor, all glory, and all praises be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekakwadash. We give double honors to the apostles and prophets and elders of GMS Camp, better known as Great Millstone, for to bring forth the 100% truth that I've been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect. I'm Brother Tazariak coming to this lesson. Now, let me jump into a video, and from there you will get the understanding as to what lesson I'm doing today. So let's go into it, right into it. I don't know what's wrong. I guess, I don't know. Let's see if we can get it played again. That's strange, honestly. We'll point to it.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Right. And pause it again. So by that video, we see where now they are beginning to implement the digital system to be a mandatory thing. Because did you hear what he said? If you don't have a digital ID, you will not be allowed to work. And of course, if you can't work, you would not be able to buy nor sell, number one, nor live in a society of digital IDs, or digital system to be exact. So this is what we are going into, the mark of the beast, because we know that digital ID has already came out, which is the RFID chip, which you see used here not only to use as a form of an ID, but it could also be used to purchase, which we have multiple videos on these exact same thing, which was in America and in England and even in Sweden and in China. So we see where digital system is going to become more rampant, going to become it's not going to linger anymore. It's going to come to pass more faster than you think, right? And the precept that comes in mind is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verses 3, from 2 to 3 to be exact. Let's read. It says, "And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that may run that readeth it." And what it means to run that readeth it, it means for what? Run to understand, to break it down, that readeth it. It doesn't mean to run away. Right? NLT says, "Then Yahweh said, Write my answer plainly on tables, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others." Do you understand? So going back into verses 3 now, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time," which is now, because we see in where they are making, just like in Australia, their plans for November. Remember that? What was his name? I forget his name. Their plans for November was to make Australia fully digital. Fully, not partially, fully digital. So we see where these governments and these what we know as leaders today are what? Cracking down and making the digital system more realistic, so that when it becomes mandatory, those who choose not to live of that way is going to be exiled from the cities. So let's be real. And in some cases, unalived. But let's go. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." So it's going to come to pass, whether we like it or not. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come to pass. It will not tarry. So we understand it's not going to linger anymore, which we see happening now. Now the plans to make England a mandatory thing to have this digital ID. Who do you feel is next? Let's be real. Who is following under English, I forget what it's called. Is, oh gosh, just to put it in plain sight, Trinidad and many of the Caribbean countries still. So, and if it already has these things implementing in the Americas in certain states, in a good few states to be exact, what do you think they are going to do next? So this should be a wake-up call. This is why this video has to be done. So let's not waste any more time. Let's make this as short and sweet as possible, but at the same time give our understanding in Revelation chapter 13, dealing with the mark of the beast. Alright? And it goes in. I get straight to the point. Verse 16 and 17, it says, And he caused all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and bond, to receive the mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, nor the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Understand that so far? I hope you're getting that part. Because when you go into the definition of the word mark, like we go again, we get what we get. Charagma.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Okay. Charagma. Salakia. Which goes into, in the outline of biblical usage, a stamp or an imprint, a printed mark, or a mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. It is the mark branded upon horses, much like that, but in more of a digital sense, because it even goes on to say here, a scratch or etching, right, as a badge of servitude, a sculptured figure, statue, graven, or goes, as it continues to say, mark. Let's go a little bit to see. This one goes into the word.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
Right. Which go, let me see, I want to get the, I think it's not this one, it's the next one, I believe. But let's check this one. Right. Oh, this is what I wanted to go into, I believe. No, wrong one. Salak. Well, we're done here at the end of the day. So this is what it goes into, a brand, or what, a mark, or an imprinted mark. What is known as an imprinted mark, or something of an imprint? We have it right here. I'm glad I'm showing this, because what? In every understanding of this thing, the label, the RFID, digital wallet, the scan, big barcode scan, and the Visa, which is more so a credit card used to purchase items through the connected to the chip, to be exact, which has been taking place in many states in America, Walmart, Walgreens, many other areas. Even when I was in China, there was lockdown of certain groceries, as to the only way you could have entered was because of what? Having that chip in your hand. Fully understanding what it means to have a full digital system. Because when it comes to that, it's not going to be using on your phones, they are going to be putting it in your hands, right? As mentioned in the scriptures. But let me go back into Shalak. I want to keep this up, matter of fact. Alright? So before we continue, I want to go into Jameson's, for a particular reason, because he himself gave outline of what it goes into, which you could read, right? So let's go into Jameson's, right? And Fawcett and Brown. Go straight down into the commentaries dealing with verses 16 to get to the point. And verse 16 and 17, which we read, it says, to receive a mark, literally, they as is they that they should give them a mark such as a brand or a master stamp on again on their slaves and monarchs on their subjects. Soldiers voluntarily punctured their arms with marks of the general under whom they serve. And in like manner, if Esau is the ruler of the earth today, not the ruler, the wicked ruling the earth today, and he is that general, and then his implementation of that mark would make us under him, allowing us to be his slaves. That's the point of it. In other words, we would now be denouncing our power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and allowing Esau Edom to be in full control and rulership over us. Because for those who haven't seen what the RFID could have done before, all you have to do is have a good example. Watch the arrow or green arrow. Where John, when he had to get the chip in his hand, what did Felicity do when he was she didn't want him to do a particular thing? I can't remember exactly what it was, but what he short circuit his RFID, which was in his hands, and he couldn't move. It almost killed him. And not to mention, after, she still was able to control and locate exactly where he was, because that's what the chip is usually is used for as well. No? Remember, Mr. Schwab speaking about the surveillance under the skin and the carbon footprint. This is what it's dealing with. Have full access to your whereabouts, number one. Have full access to your bank account, number two. And have full access to your daily life. They are going to eventually be able to have full control as they learn more about their own devices that they made to keep us under slavery. Let's be real. That's all it's in. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing to it, nothing to get around it. Let's keep reading. It says, right, as it says, so there's voluntary and puncture their arms, right? Puncture their arms with marks of the general under whom they serve, right. Votaries of idol branded themselves with the idols of cipher or symbol. Thus Antiochus or Antiochus Epiphanes branded the Jews with the ivy leaves. This and all this is part of the scriptures, even in the book of Maccabees. And they get the precepted here. Let's keep going. It says the symbol of Bacchus, and it says contrast God's seal and the name in the foreheads of his servants. Revelation chapter 7 verses 3. We're going into that as well. It says, as it's going to say, and Galatians chapter 6 verse 17, it says, I bear in my body the mark of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, that is, I am his soldier and servant. The mark is the right hand. The mark in the right hand and forehead implies the procrastination of bodily and intellectual power to the beast's domination, directly as it is. So you really can't get around what this really going into, because if it was before, when these signs wasn't shown as to what the mark of the beast is, you could have say something. But now it's evident as to what the World Economic Forum plans to do, even using WHO, I think it's World Health Organization, WHO, to implant these things through the facilities. Because for those who don't know, the RFID chip implant is literally known as a medical procedure. It's literally a medical procedure. So who are going to be doing the implants? The very same people that gave you the shot from before. Have many people been unalived. And some may say, yeah, the mark of the beast is the shot. No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, but let's keep going. I think I finished a read out. Okay, right. So that shows that the world is heading into a digital society. And look at what he said. You would not be able to access work, which means you would not be able to buy. So it's literally, the countries are literally coming together to head into a digital society. And if you don't consent to that society, you understand? Which your only access would be the chip, then you cannot partake of the features of the digital society. It's simple. Let me get a precept. This is the book. This is Luke chapter 17, and verses 3. And it says, "Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him, and if he repent, forgive him. And if he trespass against," no, wrong precept, Salak. Wrong precept. Precept I'm looking for, I'll get right here. My goodness, the one that says those who try to save. Let me just type it in. Salakia. Those save themselves shall lose it, or those who try to save their own lives shall lose it. I'm coming at. Let me pause it. Maybe I'll find it.